Tonight on The Struggle, searching for ministry positions with our alpha male. Broadway Baby pens a song for ScoMo, and Melbourne's inner north spies a good social media opportunity with the death of a walrus up north. It's August 2022. 3 months after the federal election, and Scott Morrison is once again front and centre of the news. While people rushed to stockpile toilet paper in the early stages of the pandemic, Morrison made a beeline for ministry positions. And while customers were subject to product limits, no such restrictions applied to ScoMo, who nabbed 5 roles without barely a soul knowing. Let's head over to our alpha male, Max Payne, who's following the story from Sydney.
Thanks for joining me, pain trainers. As soon as I heard that they were giving out ministries to just about anybody, I came here to Sydney, to the house of the Prime Minister, to demand one for my own. Let's go!
Let me in! I want to be a minister! Why? What are you doing?
I'm trying to be a minister. I'm trying to make myself a minister.
It's not that easy.
Well, Scott Morrison did it. He did it 5 times.
Well, Scott Morrison's a villain.
Man, why is it so hard for an angry white guy to get a ministry around here?
Oh, ministry. You can have mine if you want it.
Oh, really? What's yours?
Ministry for women.
Wait, really? Can misogynists be minister for women?
I mean, yeah. I got mine off of kicking Tony Abbott in the balls. It's a boys' club, don't you know?
God, I love politics. But you know what, bro? I think I'd rather be minister for men.
Ah, I see. So you want the top job, Prime Minister? Well, gotta get on the right mindset for that, brother. Can't help you that. But, you wanna go hit the gym and complain about women?
Hell yeah! Come on, bro, fist me!
Thanks, Max. Recent events may have fundamentally eroded our confidence in the democratic process and destroyed our faith in politicians, but on the plus side, look at the memes! A fresh batch of content full of ScoMo clones. Cutting insights and witty remarks. That's a good one. And it's never good when your own words come back to haunt you. Well, not good for ScoMo, that is. It's fantastic for everyone else, though, who's got even the slightest appreciation of irony. Well, let's now go to Broadway Baby, who's got her own tribute to the Minister for everything.
He's a master of health, wizard of getting jobs. It just takes stealth, but try not to mention the NDIS. He doesn't know about that, he's hashtag too blessed. He's a wizard finance, he'll take your welfare with a single sexy glance. Steal from the poor, give to the rich, piss off the French with a submarine sitch. He'll tell you it was unprecedented times, swear it was just an oversight, but never say he's sorry. He's side hustle Scotty. He knows all about the home affairs of his colleagues and where they've left their underwear. Support for women he can't seem to debunk when his right-winged men won't control their spunk. For the Treasury, he has the key. Lock up the children, he knows how to gatekeep. Steal your job and blame a refugee, then gaslight you with a Sri Lankan curry. Don't ask him about our resources, we know he gave them all to the defense forces. His net worth, net emissions, both high enough to brag. He burnt coal like he did the LGBT flag. He'll tell you it was unprecedented times, swear it was all just an oversight, but never say he's sorry. He's side hustle Scotty. He knows all about the home affairs of his colleagues and where they've left their underwear. Support for women he can't seem to debunk when his right-winged men won't control their spunk. Won't control their spunk. Spunky spunk. Spunky bonged. Side hustle Scotty.
Another banger.
Ren!
Yes, Mark. Hi.
Can I do a song about Scott Morrison?
We just had our theatre kid do one though, Mark.
But why? I want to do a lot of roles in my internship. I mean, Scott Morrison did a lot of roles in his workplace. Why can't I do it?
We've just got to move on to the next segment, but how about we talk about this later?
I'll just do it anyway.
All right. Well, moving on now, and Monash University is partnering with Moderna to build an mRNA production facility. But how will this decision impact students studying at Monash? We sent our reporter to find out.
Can I interest you in any illicit substances? No? Then you're certainly not Sir John Monash. We've hit the pavements to find out more. Have you ever done drugs on campus?
No.
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 No. No.
I don't believe it.
Neither.
No. No.
No.
Not yet.
No, I haven't done drugs on campus.
Not even a cup of tea?
Oh, yeah. If caffeine counts, then yes.
Yes, I have to say to caffeine and Panadol, but yeah, alcohol, no.
Yeah, I would drink in all my lectures.
Panadol on campus.
I have Ventolin in my bag if you'd like some.
Do you think Sir John Monash would approve of all this drug-addled revelry on campus?
Wouldn't he not like a lot of things going on campus?
Would you think that having a few beers at the counts would be productive to a good university lifestyle?
Absolutely.
What do you think your parents would think if they knew that they were essentially sending you to what is a meth lab in disguise?
Yeah, drug den. I don't know. They'd be disappointed.
Well, now... Oh, Mark, babe, what are you doing?
Doing a Vox Pops on university students. You are one.
Okay, now let's head over to Karen Cavett from Neighbourhood Watch for her take on the matter.
It has been brought to my attention that Monash University is partnering with Moderna and agreeing to home an mRNA vaccine facility in the Southern Hemisphere at its Clayton campus. The announcement was made by Anthony Albanese and Daniel Andrews, and I, for one, am absolutely outraged. I simply cannot fathom how the leaders of this country and state could endorse bringing drugs onto a university campus. A drug culture will now permanently be adopted at Monash University and will tarnish the reputation of what was a highly esteemed institution. In other matters, my niece Clementine came to my abode the other night after class with eyes the colour of my soul red premium metallic crystal Mazda CX-3. She insisted that we go through the McDonald's drive-thru, but we all know I don't condone processed sugar. They don't particularly like my kind there anyway.
I just pulled into McDonald's and this lady is holding this spot in front of this van for her husband to cut us all in the drive-thru so she can get her McDonald's first. There is a line for a reason.
The poor thing had just got her booster shot and was not herself. That's what Moderna will do to you if you don't watch out. F you! Federation University. Don't be smutty would be a far more appropriate place to house this facility. Monash is no place for a safe injecting room, especially not with my beady eyes around campus. Hormone replacement therapy will suffice.
Good to see you've got your facts straight, Karen. Well, we're off to a quick break. Welcome back. An article in Psychology Today made headlines recently under the evocative title, The Rise of Lonely Single Men. This is not to be confused with all those suited up teens that rocked up to Minions, The Rise of Gru, who also happened to be lonely single men. The article noted that the growing number of men without partners was in part due to women becoming increasingly selective, while also suggesting ways in which men could improve their relationship skills. This angered a lot of duds out there who maturely responded by sending the author hate mail and claiming that women are just too picky. I guess the bar should stay in hell. Anyway, let's check in on the latest with our Inner North correspondent.
This has to have been one of the worst weeks of my life. That walrus diva from Norway, my icon Freya, was euthanized, non-consensually. I can't even look at water without thinking about her. I've been wearing a lot of black lately to mourn her. I don't know if it's working though, spiritually, but also black doesn't really fit with my Instagrid. Freya was famous, adored by everyone, loved for lying around in the sun naked and being a public inconvenience. At 600 kilograms, that big bloated bitch was a body positivity role model. She was everything I want to be. And now, all I have left is disdain for Norwegian authorities and a vaping addiction. As a citizen of this earth, I'm mortified. But as an advocate, this has really put the fire in my belly and reaffirmed my cause. In honor of Freya's plight, I've decided to transition from part-time vegan to semi-full-time vegan. And I'm going to be eating much more fish in her memory. I also wrote this song to commemorate my girl and her immense contribution to society. I might be doing some more covers and stuff, so follow my gram at InnerNorthAshley if you like what you see. No, that's not the right key. There it is. Freya, my plus-size walrus, I wish you could hold us, capsize my little boat, be naked as they gloat. Freya, iconic northern queen, I wish that you had seen the influence you had on me before you went to heaven without your consent. Fly high, my walrus angel. I'll never forget you.
Condolences, Ashley. While Labour and Liberal are frequent riders on the prime ministerial merry-go-round, the Nationals Party has had its own internal leadership disputes in the past few years. After the bonking Barnaby scandal in 2018, Michael McCormack took the reins for the Nats just for a few years, only to be deposed by Barnaby, who was recently replaced by David Littleproud, who is apparently trying to repair the relationship that the Nationals has with women. So before Barnaby returns for a third helping, let's get to know the current leader of the Nationals Party. And to do so, we've got our Australia correspondent, Bindi Prickle. Welcome, Bindi.
It's wonderful to be back. This week I want to highlight the new star of our aviary enclosure, the Queensland Littleproud bird. This bird was playing second fiddle to our old chook Barnaby for quite a while. It must have been humiliating. But since the Barnaby was repatriated to the breeding enclosure in Canberra, the Littleproud has become the boss man among our little acknowledged national birds.
Oh, Littleproud, that's quite the name. How did that one come about?
They look pretty non-threatening being a small bird, but they do try to assert dominance. One of the things they do is puff up their chests when surrounded by other species. However, in the animal kingdom, like the political sphere, little birds are quite low on the hierarchy, so no other animals take the little birds seriously even when they make such a display. But the bird looks so proud of themselves when trying to seem bigger and more relevant than they are. Hence the name Littleproud.
Oh, I see. So what are some interesting facts about the Littleproud?
Well, what's quite interesting about the Littleproud is the way the male bird communicates with the female bird. It never interacts with or seeks out females directly. Instead, it simply creates an environment in its territory which is meant to entice females to join them. The practice isn't viewed favorably among females because it's not seen as a sincere gesture, unfortunately. He might act like the top dog, but when he puffs up his chest, It's just chicken breast under all that feather.
All talk, no game. I see. Well, do they get much attention from male birds then?
Almost exclusively, Wren. However, we do have to keep them away from the gay birds. Penguins and flamingos? Not in this aviary.
All right, well, thank you, Bindi. Another great introduction to an Australian animal.
Thank you, Wren. And as they say down under, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Oi, right. Well then, we're off to a quick break.
Oh, welcome back.
Marg, what are you doing? I've got to get back to hosting.
But I want to do everything.
Marg, you're not Scott Morrison, and you should be very thankful for that. Now, the Victorian state election is just a few months away, and opposition leader Matthew Guy is rebranding himself as Matt. For anyone wanting confirmation, that guy is Matt Guy. But if Matt Guy wants advice on how to successfully rebrand as a Matt, he should take a leaf from one of Matt Preston's numerous cookbooks. Preston navigated the move from MasterChef to MKR, successfully transitioned from food critic to imposter chef, and even stepped away from food altogether to audition as a singing gnome. Anyway, time now to cross to our mindset coach, Dr. Phoebe Love. Now, Phoebe, I want to talk to you about the economy. The Australian inflation rate has skyrocketed in the past few months and has now reached a 21-year high. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that is almost kind of absolutely correct, but let's see this in perspective, Ren. We are not the only ones. In fact, America, England, Canada, and even Germany are doing so much worse.
Okay, but how does it help the situation in Australia though? There have been reports that even the rise in annual wage growth will not be enough to keep up with the increasing cost of living. I mean, the average house price is above $1 million now, Phoebe. How are young people ever going to be able to afford a home? The international situation surely doesn't negate the fact that people are struggling here.
Okay, so I'd beg to differ. People are not struggling. I think people should stop being a bunch of narcissists and look around. Countries are at war. People are dying. Animals cannot stop putting their feet in their mouth. Honestly, fuel prices are not the biggest concern in the world right now. And who really needs a house?
Okay, so you were suggesting that we should just ignore the problem altogether then. Is that your observation?
I am sensing a bit of passive aggression in your tone. So I'm just going to bring your attention to the fact that the government is simply being more environmentally conscious. Fuel prices go up and what happens? People start cycling or walking. Food prices go up and what happens? People don't overeat. Even the top Australian economists are saying that people should quit overreacting now.
Yeah, I don't really think that's what they're saying, Phoebe.
See, I don't think throwing tantrums and giving the government a negative attitude is going to make anyone's life better. But a slight shift in the attitude and people can be collectively thanking the government for these efforts to improve the citizens' health. It's all to do with the perspective.
All right, well, that's a very interesting take on the issue. Thank you so much for joining us, Phoebe.
I want to bedazzle your spirits with some advanced wisdom from the Positivity Pad. Oh, the real problem is not the problem, but your reaction to the problem. And how you perceive the problem, and how you respond to the problem. Because if you decide that you don't have a problem with this problem, then there just isn't any problem. Keep that in mind and let's get working on that mindset now.
All right, well, let's change things up a little bit and head over to the sports therapy couch.
I just read a touching essay in Vogue by Serena Williams on her retirement, evolution. And she writes all about how she had to choose between career and family, and the media just won't shut up about it. Oh wow, female tennis player Serena Williams abandons loyalty to the game, all because that pesky biological clock is ticking. Anyway, let's ignore her totally ridiculous, not valid sentiments in favour of seeing how these celebs are reacting. Like, we get that she's massively influential to tennis, literally everyone knows that, but is anyone actually aware of the hardships she's had to endure for her achievements and for her love of the game? From the beginning, she's been subject to explicit racist and sexist attacks, ridiculed and shunned for her appearance, being called aggressive and angry. When Nick Kyrgios is deemed tennis's bad boy, despite constant displays of violent and disgusting behaviour. And everyone had something to say about her Catwoman cosplay. Imagine making an inspiring comeback to the sport after having near-death experience level complications after pregnancy, only to be told that your stylish yet practical blood clot preventing 2018 French Open catsuit would not be acceptable out of respect for the game and place. Grow up. One would think tennis has moved past its elitist roots, but you can't tell me you actually believe that courts deserve more respect than human decency. And to wrap it all up, it's only now that she's retired that she's been acknowledged as a GOAT. Truthfully, I think it loses a little prestige when you remember she has to share it between 3 men, including Novak Djokovic.
You know I'm still a sports therapist.
And you know that ripping down successful women is still a fave play in sport. This is included in my Medicare health plan, right?
Poor thing. And in other news, monkeypox is over. Well, in name only, that is, after the World Health Organization announced it is searching for a new non-stigmatizing name. The public has been asked to provide suggestions for a replacement, with a WHO spokesperson saying it's necessary to rename the disease in order to not create any offence to a region, a country, or an animal. In that case, someone should probably tell them about chickenpox and avian flu and swine flu. Anyway, let's head over to Scamantha, who's also keen on a little bit of a rebrand.
Thanks, Ren, but I'm no Scamantha no more. Are you tired of people mispronouncing your name? Baristas crossing off your takeaway cups? Or sharing a name with 3 other colleagues? Well, Johns, Davids, Chloes, and Lisas, you better listen up. Our name-changing license will help create the new you. It's out with the old and in with the new. Brought to you by The Struggle. Be confident, be free. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. No, don't doubt the process. Just look at our previous clients. We turned Matthews into Matts, Scotts into ScoMos, Daniels into Dans, Joes to Sleepy Joes, Kanye's to Yes, Duttons into Voldemorts. They've all proven to have a happier life after a product. Revamp and rename and you'll reach the fame. Register a change of name today for just $15.99. Use the Struggle discount code at the checkout. We are not responsible for any lawsuits, death threats, cyberbullying, copyright issues, breakups, identity crisis, high blood pressure, family disownment, or deportation. Bit hard to do for people with just 1 syllable. Anyways, back to you, Ray.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Scammy. Well, that brings us to the end of the episode. And with news that the Tasmanian tiger could be brought back from extinction within a decade, thanks to the Hemsworth brothers apparently, the possibility of an Australian Jurassic Park may no longer just be fiction. At least with the Hemsworth brothers involved, we can count on a great film down the track. I can see it. Jurassic Park. But if there's hope for the thylacine, what else might be revived from the dead? The dodo? Freya the walrus? Scott Morrison's credibility? Yeah, nah, that one's beyond extinct. Until next week, the struggle. It's real.